tension's really flaring there outside of the courthouse. And what we're seeing, Michael Jaafar, we've, of course, seen plenty of pro-Karen Read supporters and interviews with them, but it seems now there's this swell of those who are counter-protesters. I mean, it really seems like there's almost a movement out there that has this political feel to it, but it makes you a bit nervous when you have the mashup of these two sides who feel so strongly about this case.
Now you see why the judge wanted the jury to take more time and come to a decision. You can see exactly why, because she lives in that community. When she gets in her car at the end of the day to go home, she's got to drive past these people. When she got to come into court, she got to drive past these people. There's security that, like, this is a courthouse where the public walk in and they pay traffic ticket fines, right? Like, this is not a courthouse that's accustomed to having security. It's not built for that, right? So you can see why the judge wanted to do this. And so look, this was all ratcheted up by Karen Read's defense attorneys, and I said this at the time. Back in January, when there was a pretrial hearing because the state was objecting to turning over evidence, I think it was like letters in between the investigators and the DNA samples to allow the defense attorneys to independently examine them. The state objected, which I thought was a massive mistake. I was on Court TV saying that was a massive mistake, because then the defense attorneys came in and showed pictures of his arm and said, we think there's a cover-up. We think that the Massachusetts police are covering up for one of their own. And that's when this mob was created. It was created then, and it has not left the courthouse since then. That was the most, if you're ever, you know, in a course to become an investigator, to work for a policing agency, learn from this mistake. If the defense wants you to turn over evidence, do it, because they gave air to this little mob that's there, right? The mob did not exist before January 4th. It existed after that motion. Everybody was just, oh my God, there's a conspiracy going on in Massachusetts, and we always knew that it was corrupted. They're covering up for one of their own. They killed the police officer. This poor woman, this poor helpless woman, is being painted as a murderer, and she's not. And that's when this mob was created. And so now you can see why this judge wants this case to be over. I'm not in her mind. I don't know what her opinion is of the case. I assume she just wants this thing to end. She doesn't want to come back for another trial. So it's pretty sad, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing.